Hello everyone and welcome back to the classroom. So for today we're going to be fixing up the script and as well doing some UI stuff. So for now let's get started with, as you see when we do play the game, the camera doesn't follow the player. And you know, that kind of sucks. And as well you kind of see that the character gets stuck sometimes. We're going to be working today to fix all of those issues. So to start with the camera, it is a very simple fix. All you gotta do, first we'll keep the camera there for now, but we are going to make a empty game object within the player. I just usually call this camera axis. This is just like an extra thing if you need to move the camera around a little bit more. Then we're just gonna drag the camera onto the camera axis and just change the X and the Y to 0. And now, when you click play, it follows the character around. Now looks like it's a little off, I think, but that might just be on my end. Yeah, it's fine. Because, when I play it, the character's like off to the side just a little bit. I don't know why. Nah, that's fine. Alright, so with that first fix done, we're going to move on to the next regarding us getting trapped on the colliders. So this is very simple. This is only really to be used if you have like for these kinds of maps that like have the square colliders. All you'd have to do is click add component and add a Composite Collider 2D. Once it's added, you do see that we have a rigid body. We're just going to set this rigid body to static because if it's not, it's just going to fall and it's not really much fun. Then in the tile map Collider 2D, we're going to set it to used by composite. So now you see all the collider just kind of snaps all together and we don't need to do anything in our composite collider. So yeah, and if we go back, you can see we kind of move around and it doesn't have the same problem. So for the UI stuff we're going to do, I'm going to show you guys how to do some scene transitions. It does sound complicated, but it is actually very simple. So first off, let's make a new scene. Go into create, go down to scene, and we're just going to call this menu. This is main menu would be a better name because this is going to be our main menu. Now this is all very simple stuff. Pretty much how you add a UI is if you go into your hierarchy, go down, and if you can click any of these options, but I'm just going to go with our button, and we're going to do Text Mesh Pro. This is just a really better option for text. So when you click that, it is going to prompt you saying import TMP essentials. You're just going to click on that and just let it install. So once that's been installed, you'll have your TMP text. And if we double click on the canvas, so if you do see, it did create a canvas and an event system. Now you need an event system if you want to actually click on the little buttons or whatever you have in your UI. So let's just get started. We have a button here, and if we just drag it right into the middle, we can also set it to the middle if we just click Alt and then click on one of these. So yeah, if we click it right there, it's going to go to the top, left, side, blah, 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 blah. Or if we click on these blue ones, it's going to stretch it to the various sizes. But we just want it just in the middle. And if we go down, we see there's a text TMP Pro, TMP Pro right there. We're just going to add the text play because this is going to be our play button. You can also add like level or like text of what the name of the game is called. So just right there. See, it's just showed up right there. And then there is a lot of options that you can play with. Usually what I do for different text, I click auto size, which automatically sizes the text depending on the text box size. You can also up this, so if I put the max to 200 and just keep going, it'll scale with how big the text box is, which honestly is very helpful. Then just usually align it to center and middle, just so it's just right there. And we've got that, and I guess we'll just name this to Lucy Teaches, because, you know, that's the series. Just gonna leave that right there. And you know what, let's add an underline. Why not? So once we have our canvas and all our buttons set up, we're gonna click on our canvas and we're gonna add a script, and we're gonna call this script scene change. Once we have that loaded up, what I want you to do is at the top you're going to add in using Unity Engine .scene management, and then we can just delete these two functions right here. So we're going to add public void play scene. Yeah, we'll just do public void play scene, you know. And then you have to make sure it is public, because if it's not, it won't be shown in the inspector. And then you're just going to add scene manager dot load scene, and then you just put the name of the scene that you want to load, which our scene for our game I think is just, it is called sample scene, but we are going to rename that to game. So it'd be named game, and then we just go back here and just type in game. Basically, what would happen once this function is played, it will load our game scene. All right, if we go back into our script, you see it is right there. And then what I want you to do is just, you have to make sure you do this, or else you can't go back to this and it just kind of messes stuff up. You just want to go into the build settings and then click add open scenes, which this just adds it here, and you just drag the menu scene to the top, just because when you actually build it, this one always plays first. All right, so now that we're back here, we're going to click on our button, scroll down to the on click, we're going to click plus, and we're just going to drag in our canvas object right here, and then right here we're going to go down to our scene change and click play scene. If you did all of it right, it should show up right here. And perfect, that's all done. If we click play, you see that this is a little off center. That's just because of the camera. If we just set it, whatever. But if we click play, as you see, we are in our scene now. And that is how you change scenes. So to do a little fix in our UI to make it so it's consistent between all sort of screens, I'd want you to go to the canvas scaler right here, go to the UI scale mode and click scale with screen size. And we're just going to change the reference resolution to 1920 by 1080. And then just change match with height, just so it's perfect like that. And also the reason it was kind of scaled weird is because the scaling was up a bit, and I don't know how it did that, but yeah. And if you go, see, it's just like this, a nice boring menu. You know, you can add some pictures and animations in the back, whatever you want. But the most important thing is when you click play, it does the thing. Now that it was accidentally gone back, but just to do it again, you just put in the canvas, put in the play, go back, and yeah. Alright, so lastly, what we're going to do, we're going to add in our little hearts, just because, you know, platformer, player needs some lives. Alright, so to get that started, let's make a UI canvas in our game scene. So now that we're here, we're just going to do the same thing what we did in the other screen, where we just change the scale, just so once this is set, we don't have to change it ever again. There we go. And then all we're going to have to do, we're going to add a UI panel. And as you see, this transparent panel shows up. We're just going to go into the colors and turn the alpha to 0, just because this is just going to be our little invisible panel. And we're going to go to our anchor points and just set it to just the top here, just because that's just where our hearts are going to be. All right, and once we have that set, we are going to add a thing called grid layout group. Now, pretty much what this does, anything put as a child of this, it's going to just kind of set it in a specific points. And I believe everything here is fine. So if we do go and just add a UI element of an image, we're just going to call this heart because this is our heart image. And we're just going to choose the heart tile right there. And as you see, we have that there. And if we just duplicate, it does that sort of thing. But if this didn't have the layout group, it kind of just duplicated on itself. All right, let's just put that image back. So how we're going to handle health is not going to be hard coding hearts in there. Let's just make this, we can't make it bigger, but that's fine. So what we're going to have to do is we're going to make this a prefab first of all. We can delete that. Then we're going to go onto our player, go into the script, and then we are going to just make the groundwork of our hearts, just so, and then probably in the next episode, then we'll actually have full functionality with also like a death mechanic as well. All right, so we're going to add a new section called stats, and then the first one we're just going to add a public float health. Actually, while we're doing this, we can probably get it all swung out in one go. We're going to do a public game object heart prefab. Now this is the prefab we just made, as well as a public transform panel parent. And then lastly, we're going to add a public list. Now this is how I handle how many hearts spawn. We're going to make a array list of game objects. We're going to name it hearts. And we're going to instantiate it by doing new list game object. Alright, so what we're going to do in our start function, all we have to do is add a for loop. So if you do just type in for and then tap tab twice, it does complete the whole for loop for you. It just makes this a lot easier. And if we put in health, which was our actual health float, this is why it's good doing it like this, because then you can just change this to however many and you can have however many hearts. The next we're gonna do hearts.add. Now we're adding to our array list, instantiate, and then we're gonna do heart prefab, and then we're gonna parent it to the panel parent. Now if we just save it all and go back into our script, we have to add our heart prefab to here, and as well the panel parent, which is just the panel we just made. And if we click play, you'll see we have 4 hearts just spawned right up there. And if I do change the number to whatever, you know, what if we just want 10 health? We have 10 hearts right there. And we can also just change the size of this. So say we want it that big, it'll look a bit more correct. You can also change the different corners it starts with. So, but that's just totally up to preference and whatever, how you want to design it. And I think that's it for today's class. Thank you so much for joining us.